fam, welcome back to Tori's Lifestyle and Vlog, and thank you so much for stopping by. So in today's video we're going to be talking about the UK health surcharge, immigration health surcharge increase, and when it's going to come into effect. So we know that in October 2023 the UK government announced that we're going to have an increase in immigration health surcharge. For anyone wondering what the immigration health surcharge is, it's also known as the NHS fees. It's an amount of money that is paid to the UK government when someone is coming to the UK for more than 6 months. So if you're coming to the UK and you're going to be staying for more than 6 months, you have to pay the NHS surcharge, IHS fee. Okay, so if you're going to be staying for 1 year, you pay the amount. If you're going to be staying for 2 years, you pay that amount times 2. If you're going to be staying for 3 years or 5 years, you pay that amount by the number of years that you're going to be staying. So at the moment, the amount is £624, but the UK government have said that they're going to increase it to £1,035. Like I said, this is a huge jump, and a lot of people are not very happy with it. So this increase was going to be from £624 to £1,035. So yes, you heard me right. So it's a huge jump, a huge increase, but that's what was announced in October 2023. And this change was also going to come into effect from January the 16th, 2024. Okay, however, the UK Parliament has said, so before any thing goes into law, before any case goes into law, before any new change comes into effect, the UK Parliament will have to sit on it. The House of Lords, Commons will have to sit on it and deliberate to make sure it is okay with them. Like I said before, it was announced in October 2023, and a lot of deliberation has been going about it, and now the UK government has sat again and have come back. They sat on the 10th of January 2024, which is their first sitting of the year, and they've said that this change is not going to come into effect as previously stated, the 16th of January. However, it's going to come into effect no later than the 31st of January. Okay, so they said not earlier than the 31st of January, which means it could be later, and the likelihood is that it might not come into effect because £624 on top of anyone's immigration application fee, visa application fee, is a lot of money in the first place. The UK Parliament set this January. One of the things they talked about was the fact that traveling or immigrating to a new country like the United Kingdom costs people a lot of money. People are already paying a huge amount of money, paying out of their notice. So imagine you're coming to the UK for 3 years, for instance, say on a skilled worker visa. You have to pay that amount times 3 or times 5, whatever the amount of years that you have. And if you have dependents as well, you also have to pay for those dependents. So it's not just you. If you have like 3 or 4 people that are depending on you, so if you have a wife or a husband and 3 children, so the 5 of you or 4 of you will have to pay that amount times 5. So it's a lot of money coming out from immigrants already. If you want to now increase that fee from £625 to £1,000, that will mean £1,035 times 5 if that person is coming to stay in the UK for 5 years. So that's already over 5,000 for one person, and if you have dependents, that's 5,000. If you have other adults depending on them. Okay, so it's really a really huge amount. So a lot of people are not happy about it, hence they are deliberating to see if actually this increase is actually fit for purpose, if it can be justified why this NHS surcharge is being increased. The other reason they talked about is the fact that the NHS surcharge is said to be NHS fees. However, people that are coming to the UK, so immigrants that come to the UK work. So when they work, they actually contribute in taxes, and taxes go to NHS fees. Okay, so which means that if they are coming and they are working and they're contributing in taxes and they've already paid for NHS fees, it means that they're contributing twice to the NHS. Okay, they're paying their taxes twice. Okay, so again, that's not acceptable, that's not right, and that's one of the reasons why they are also deliberating on it, why they've said it will no longer come into effect from the 16th of January, but not at least the 31st of January, which means after the 31st of January. Okay, so the other reason they are talking about, which is actually a major one, which was spoken about immediately as soon as it was announced, was the fact that when Rishi Sunak made the announcement, so Rishi Sunak is the UK Prime Minister, one of the things he said that they want to increase the NHS surcharge so he can raise money for the public sector. Remember that in 2023 there were a lot of strikes, a lot of public sector organization going into strike. So the nurses went on strike, train drivers went on strike. There were so many strikes, and they were going on strike because they wanted an increase in their pay. So Rishi Sunak came up and said, actually, to raise this money, he's going to increase NHS surcharge. And this is actually, again, not acceptable. It's not ethical, because NHS surcharge is supposed to be for NHS. So it's supposed to be for the health services. You cannot raise money for the health services and use it for the public sector. Okay, so that's the thing that has been talked about. So really, is it justified that this NHS surcharge is being increased? If the UK government have said, yes, we're increasing this to pay public workers, but really, this money should not be diverted to public workers, because the purpose for which they are paying this money is for NHS treatment and accessing NHS and all of that. Okay, so that's not acceptable. So these are the things that are being deliberated on as we speak in Parliament. So they've sat and they're going to sit again, maybe closer to January, the end of January, just to see if this is actually going to come into effect. My hope is that it doesn't. Okay, so because I know being an immigrant, having to submit applications and all of that actually costs people a lot of money. Okay, so it already costs people a lot of money, £624 for immigration health surcharge. If we are to increase that to £1,000, that will even put more pressure on people that are coming to the UK. Okay, so my hope, like I said, is that it doesn't come into effect. But if it's going to come into effect at all, it's not going to come into effect until after the 31st of January. Okay, so if you as a person, if you're wanting to come to the UK and you're going to be in the UK for more than 6 months and you're thinking about whether to apply now, apply later, my advice is, if you have the money, if you have all your documents, put in your application as soon as possible so that you can avoid the increase if it's going to happen at all. Okay, so this is just a quick one. I thought I'll bring this update to you quickly. I know it's good news for some people, especially if you're wanting to apply for your UK visa now. Okay, I hope it's helpful. I hope it comes to you as good news. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share with your friends and family, and of course subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. But thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next video.